Reading for February 20th, Science of Mind, A Philosophy, a Faith, a Way of Life by Ernest Holmes. Reading from page 121, paragraph 3, through page 124, paragraph 2, using inclusive language. Unity. Our teaching is that people actually have a body, that they actually have a subjective life, and that they actually are a spirit. Body, soul, and spirit represent a point where individuality is accentuated in universality. It is only through this conception that we arrive at a consciousness of the unity of the whole. In other words, if I have one mind and you have one mind and Creator has another mind, three separate minds, I cannot talk to you and you cannot talk with the divine. If your mind and my mind are not the same mind, we would have no way to communicate with each other. Thus, we are forced to the conclusion that there is but one mind. Everyone, however, is a unique variation in the universe. No two people are alike, and yet all people are rooted in that which is identical. We recognize then, in our self-knowing mind, our unity with the whole. For while a drop of water is not the ocean, yet it does contain within itself all the attributes of the limitless deep. Our self-knowing mind is the instrument which perceives reality and recognizes or realizes truth. All illumination, inspiration, and realization must come through the self-knowing mind in order to manifest in us. Vision, intuition, and revelation proclaim themselves through our self-knowing mind. And the saints and sages, the saviors and Christs, the prophets and seers, the wise and the learned have all consciously perceived and proclaimed this fact. Every evidence of our experience, all acts of kindness and mercy have interpreted themselves through our self-knowing mind. All that we consciously know, say, or think, feel or believe, hope or long for, fear or doubt, is some reaction of the self-knowing mind. Subjective memories we have, and unexpressed emotions we feel, but to the self-knowing mind alone comes realization. Without this capacity to consciously know, we would not exist as an expressed being, and so far as we are concerned, we would not exist at all. Our self-knowing mind proclaims itself in every thought, deed, or act, and is truly the only guarantee of our divinity. It is our unity with the whole, or Creator, on the conscious side of life, and is an absolute guarantee that we are a center of divine consciousness in this vast whole. We will say, then, that in spirit people are one with Creator. But what of the great law of the universe? If we are really one with the whole, we must be one with the law of the whole, as well as one with the spirit. Again, psychology has determined the fact to be more than fancy. The characteristics of our subconscious mind determine our subjective unity with the universe of life, law, and action. In the subjective mind of people, we find a law obeying their word, the servant of their spirit, the mental law of their being, the creative factor within them. This is our individual use of that greater subjective mind of the universe, which is the seat of all law and all action. Marvelous as this concept may be, it is none the less true that people have at their disposal in what they call their subjective mind a power which is limitless. Our thought becomes the law of our life through one great law of all life. There are not two subjective minds. There is but one subjective mind, and what we call our subjective mind is really the use we are making of this one law. Everyone maintains their identity in law through their personal use of law, and each is drawing from law what they think into it. To learn how to think is to learn how to live. We, by thinking, can bring into our experience whatever we desire if we think correctly. This is not done by holding thoughts, but by knowing the truth. There is a vast difference, a difference which too few realize. Modern science tends toward a teaching of unity, tends to resolve the material universe into a physical universe and the physical universe into energy. The tendency of modern thought is to return, by the route of inductive science, to the great spiritual deductions of all ages, that all is one. But people are still puzzled, trying to reconcile the world of multiplicity, the objective world of many things, to their belief in the final necessity of unity. Every great spiritual teacher has known that God is one, not two. They have also known that evil exists in the world. That we mean by evil is apparent limitation, poverty, sickness, death, and what we call sin, which is nothing more than a mistake. How are we going to reconcile suffering and lack of goodness of God? The difficulty is solved when we realize that all creation is an effect. It is real enough, as real as it is supposed to be. As you look about you, the mountain is a mountain, and the molehill is a molehill. The dust storm is a dust storm, but they are all effects. As you enter your garden and observe the bamboo tree, the grapefruit, and the many other variations of form, you see each is rooted in the one creative soil, and each is individualized out of this creative soil, that which is unique. The type maintains its integrity always. We observe in creation an atomic intelligence, then a simple consciousness, after which a personal consciousness, then a cosmic consciousness. These variations of consciousness are definitely defined and accepted by most investigators. As we watch the transition from the atomic to the simple intelligence, from the simple to the personal, from the personal to the cosmic, we find that we are merely going up a scale of unity. The spirit is not something apart from matter, so called, but is something working through matter. The potential possibility of what we call the highest and the lowest is inherent in everything. They are not different things. They are the same thing functioning at different levels. It is neither low here nor low there, for behold, the kingdom of God is within. There are different mental depths and heights from which we may look out upon life. From whatever level we look, that which we see comes back to us by an invariable law of attraction. That which we look upon is real while we look at it. We arrive at a consciousness of unity only in such degree as we see that what we are looking for, what we are looking with, and looking at. Heaven is lost merely for the lack of perception of harmony. Hell is the phantom abode of our morbid imaginations. Heaven and hell are states of consciousness.